Now, I'm curious though, and there's a way to frame that in part of what you're saying. But I was having a conversation with a real good friend of my brother's actually last night. We were together, just the guys watching the fight, and he's over here talking to us about like he's been in this job for 9 years. Seemingly, it's a job that anytime I've ever seen him in that environment, he's incredibly excited about. He feels real animated and he feels real engaged with what's going on. But over the course of I don't know exactly how long, but I know over the last 2 months, I don't know when it started, but I know over the last 2 months, he was going through some turbulent times mentally, like intrapersonal. And so for him, it was a moment where he realized, wow, like these people that I thought were gonna have my back in such a like turbulent time in my life, seemingly could care less. I mean, like it's talking to us about like, I'm talking to my boss, and it's like, I'll tell her, man, I know you really need me. Give me a couple days. I'll be back Thursday. It's Tuesday, and now they're already talking about, are you going to be back tomorrow, which is Wednesday, not the day they agreed on. Like, I've already told you, I can't do this right now. I need some time away, but because I know you need me, I'll come in this particular day. But now, ahead of that, you're already, not appreciating me or not validating me. I could imagine it's like the emotions he's going through, and that interconflict that he's having, and it's incredible. And so, man, having that conversation with him last night was very eye opening, and it's things that I've known working in a corporation. But man, it's like it's pretty devastating when it's like somebody so close, and I'm glad that he's able now to take some time off, and he's sorted all of those things out, and he's feeling much better seemingly, because physically you could tell like, man, it's taking a toll on him. I haven't seen him in like 2 years, and when I'm looking, he's telling me this, but I'm also observing it on him. He doesn't look like the animated person that I'm used to seeing. You know what I'm saying? So that was rough to see in the flesh. So close in my life. You
So with something like that, is we go through periods of change in life. We're forever evolving. If you would have asked me, was I going to be in the fitness business 10 years ago, I would have told you, no way. Now, I spent the first part of my life working in bars, nightclubs, restaurants, fine dining, you name it, and I did every single position you could think of because, again, I thought like an owner. I wanted to know everything from bar backing to bartending, waiter, manager, mixologist, DJ. Like I did the whole thing inside out, right? But what happened was that one day I got behind the bar, and I mean, like I loved it. Even after I worked every position, I was like, all right, behind the bar, that's my thing. That's my stage.
Okay.
I said, no, that's it. And then I veered into here. All our experiences, what we're doing is as people, we're transcendent. So we're information. So all we're doing is collecting data. And then it becomes pattern recognition. So as we go through our life, it's like a hero's journey. You're going into all these different environments. You're mastering these different environments, these different conflicts. And eventually you go and you synthesize this way of being, this archetype of who you are. And then you discover exactly how you're going to present that to the world. And then once you present it to the world, now you're moving forward on that. But unfortunately, a lot of people, they get the substance, but they never take that next step. Because, what does that mean, that next step? That means that before you take that next step, you got to ask yourself, has anyone ever become wealthy being an employee? Or have they become wealthy because they become an entrepreneur and business person?
Yeah.
But can you just go and from night and day go become an entrepreneur and a business person?
No.
There's a lot of skills that you need.
For sure.
Best way to do it is you go help someone achieve their dream, as an entrepreneur, and you go learn skills from that person because you're spending all the time next to that person. And then you go do it.
Yeah.
Because what I can tell you is I worked for a lot of different mentors of mine who are still friends today, who still give me advice, who still guide me today, and I'm always open to them. But what you see before you is not me, it is a representation of all the amazing people I've met in my lifetime and the ones who have taken the time to push me and point the right direction.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, and then, right, then you become an entrepreneur, right? So now you went from being in the pond, now we're in the lake, right? And then you master your lake. Well, guess what? There's still an ocean out there.
The ocean's pretty big.
So now it becomes different. Now it's not that you're an entrepreneur. Now you're an organization who needs to go and expand your relationships and do great work and contribute with other organizations and come together with other organizations. And now we're in the ocean. With Get Fitness, we've been around now 5 years. Now we're doing collaborative work with other organizations and other networks. And it keeps growing from there.
Yeah.
We find other organizations that our visions and missions, they align. We're in alignment. And we go through great things together. Because the same way it takes great people to make a great business, it takes great organizations to make impact in the world. But there's steps, and you cannot skip.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to say, hey, I got the energy. I got the emotion to do it. But no, listen. Show me that you got the discipline to do it.
Right.
Show me that you got the discipline to do the steps.
Yeah.
Stop telling me. Because what you're doing, I can't hear you. I can't. And sometimes, you know, like, people do get upset with me, but it's not, I'm not going to lie to them.
Right.
Because I'm doing them an injustice. You know, because what I can tell you is every single year I can look back on my calendar, I can tell you how much I did. I can tell you that the people that are around me, they all did alongside me. And they did things without me. I can tell you that we're always doing.
Certainly.
We're never talking. Nobody's ever talking about it. Nobody's ever saying like, hey, you know, like, no. Nobody's ever saying that, hey, if I had the chance or if I had this, if I had that, guess what? When we didn't have this or that, we created it. Oh, this is what we need? Okay. Action. Now we need that? Action.
Yeah.
But it's not talk. You know, and that's the kind of thing. Now, what happens when you have a world that's constantly moving and taking action? And it's evolving, it's taking the right steps. So with your friend, right now, he's at a transition. That place no longer fulfills him.
Yeah.
And now he really gets to see who they are. Now that he's not meeting their criteria, their requirement level, now that he actually needed to be picked up, now he sees. No matter who you work for, or no matter who you work alongside of, or no matter who you collaborate with, it's about their nature. See what their nature is. Just pay attention to the behavior. You know, like, someone might treat you amazing because guess what? You guys are doing great business together. But pay attention to how they treat the people that they're not doing great business with, so you can see who they are.
Yeah.
And then take it from there. And with your friend, it's his body, it's his spirit, it's screaming at him, hey, I need something different.
No, definitely. Like I could physically see his body is rejecting the environments that he's in, which is like the representation of what I saw essentially, especially after what he told me. It's like, oh, that's a clear sign that like whatever environment you're in is taking more from you than you're able to give. So yeah, definitely. I wish I could have now framing it like that, especially, you know, I was just hearing him out because clearly he needed somebody to like just vent to and speak to last night. But that's, you know, when the time is right, that's something that definitely I'll be able to give to him some. Like, hey, you're taking the much needed time that you need for yourself right now, but in this time, take it to also reflect. And if there's something that your heart speaks to you about that you would like to try to pursue, right now would be the best time more than ever to try to do that whenever you feel like it's right, because you've already taken the hardest step out of a 9-year job salaried career where you were the manager at. You're already out of that for the time being. So it's like, why put yourself back in that environment if you know already and you've had these clear signs, these indications that the environment probably wasn't the best for you.
And that's what life is, you know. We're constantly evolving. We're constantly growing. We're constantly expanding. As human beings, we're always going to want to expand. We're always going to want more. You know, comfort to a human being is death. It's such a huge thing. You know, it goes back to what we're talking about with the complimenting and the praise. You know, it goes again to I'm too busy doing to really stop to think about the praise. I'm grateful and I'm thankful for the energy, and I use it not to reflect on, oh man, like look who I am. No, I use it to say I need to do more.
Yeah.
And with that, and with his situation, now it's time for him to evolve. He has to get uncomfortable because his body forced him to get uncomfortable so he could see clear. Because his unconscious mind already saw what those people were about before his conscious mind let him see it.
Right.
That was his unconscious mind pushing him, like, hey, listen, it's time.
Yeah.
I've seen enough.
Certainly.
Because your unconscious mind also protects you.
Yeah, that's amazing.